Now all the setups you thought you stepped up to get your rep up, joke's on you, Jack. True that.
Hi, welcome to IAS. I'm your host, Chris Pastras, and well, it's been an amazing year for skateboarding. We've seen some of the world's biggest events, we've had some industry controversy, and we've done some in-depth interviews with the top pros in the game. And you saw it all right here. This is Inside Skate. Every year, there is no bigger story in skateboarding than who is going to win Thrasher's Skater of the Year award. And this year was certainly no different. After dropping an amazing video part that blew everyone's minds and pushed the limits of what we thought was possible, Clip's David Gonzalez took the top honor. Earlier in the year, we were lucky enough to follow David while he went up to SF to compete in the street style event at the SF Do Tour. Here's what he had to say.
My name is David Gonzalez. I'm from Colombia and I'm 22 years old. The first time I came to America, I was 13. I got sponsored by Flip and Glove Shoes and other companies. And so I started coming here and skating. Started seeing the real skating and hanging out with the guys that skate tranny all the time. So I kind of just, I was skating mini ramp and I started skating tranny more and just going to pools a lot. I never thought there were gonna be a contest in a random street in SF. That's sick. I think a lot of the pro skaters, they're gonna have problems in this because it's pretty big and fast. You gotta be able to skate fast to skate this. I was gonna try and make tricks everywhere until the end, like any trick. Any grab, any front side, any back side, like whatever it comes, whatever. It's hard to really hit every spot. You're probably gonna hit probably like 4 or 5 spots and that's it.
David Gonzalez coming in out of Medellin, Colombia. This kid's an absolute maniac.
David, he shredded the regular street contest yesterday at Civic Center Plaza, just blazing through that intersection. Yeah. Nice little nose grab up. Kick flip down.
Wow, he's got the whole course going.
Loving it, man. So top to bottom, David Gonzalez.
So my first run was cool. I made the whole thing, but I did some simple tricks. Didn't went too crazy. Didn't do any like 360s or anything.
We got an 81.5. That is your new leader.
It's kind of intense. You can't really do many tricks. That's the thing. It's going so fast.
So SHECKLER getting ready to come in.
Speed to jump the car.
Just hauling ass. Yo! Massive 360.
90.25. First place. Got Ryan DECENZO.
Nice.
Take a look at the scoreboard. David Gonzalez, he's sitting in 3rd place.
My second run up was actually better than the first one. I did like front 3 into the bank. And then kickflip into. I did like more tech than the first run, and then that got me like more points.
Big score.
3rd place, looking at the heels of Ryan DECENZO. DECENZO's got the 86.75, David with an 86. Coming out of Colombia, currently in 3rd place with an 86. He's only 0.75, 1 point behind Ryan DECENZO.
Frontside board slide at speed.
Yes.
I think I did good the last 2 runs, but the last one was okay. It wasn't too good, the 3rd one. But I'm still in 3rd place. I got 1 more to go, and then this will decide what's gonna happen.
So Ryan just jumping back on board and going for it. What's he got here?
Oh, whoa!
Going for a rodeo flip up onto the step up.
Milton Martinez, this kid is not afraid.
Or like timing your arm up your
Yeah.
Wow, just lowering down, man.
This is amazing. Bumping up into 5th place. Everybody's been killing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it, love it. Trail snatcher. Up over the gap. Kickflip, keeping it going. Yes, frontside boneless. Wow. 76.25.
I think my last run was the 4th run, and I don't know what place I am right now. We'll see.
David Gravette is in 4th place. Backside 50-50. Whoa.
Yes, backside 3.
He moves into 2nd place. Ryan Sheckler still sitting in 1st place.
Nice.
He's going to stay in 1st after that run. He's not going to improve on his 90.25.
So Milton is sitting down in 5th. I think he has the potential to beat Sheckler, actually. I mean, he's that good.
He's got to do everything he can do right now, though.
Sheckler's got to be nervous right now because he knows it too.
Frontside nose grind.
Ollie's up. Kickflip. Oh! Off the side of it!
Fatty
And
to
he makes
flatty.
it! Wow! Amazing!
An 89.75, 2nd place for Milton Martinez, and Ryan Sheckler wins the contest.
Amazing!
That was great. That was a big
a
finish.
huge finish.
And here is a look at your final results.
I wish I had another run. Too late. But it was fun. Definitely sick. One of the best contests out there I've ever done. Yeah, I think this should be there should be like skate parks like this. This is real street. This is just, you know, pure real street. So they should do this every year, you know, for sure. Like this is like the start of like something good, you know.
See what I mean? One of the gnarliest dudes on the planet, and he definitely deserves to be right next to the other skaters of the year. Speaking of past SOTY winners, we got to sit down with 2-time winner Chris Cole to talk about growing up and skating in Philadelphia. Pay attention, kids, and take notes. This is how a legend is made. So Chris, thanks for sitting with us today. And let's start at the very beginning as far as skateboarding is concerned. Where did it all begin?
For me, it began 2 years after I saw a kid skate out front of my grandmother's house. He skated by and he just looked so cool, and the board looked so cool, and I wanted to do that. And I was really kind of a physical kid, so I'd ride my bike a lot, and I'd kind of like make physical challenges all the time. I got like completely obsessed with skateboarding, so I'd start like writing all my sentences, because you'd have to write sentences on the blackboard at school, and I'd write all my sentences like having to do with a skateboard or a skateboarder or skateboarding. And then cool enough, my library at my school had skate magazines, and one was the Tunnel of Love, Mario. Yeah, Tunnel of Love one. That and BMX
I think
Plus.
I had an AM checkout in that magazine.
Dave, I think you did, actually. I liked anybody with the name Chris, and anybody that was from any sort of area that...
So I am solely responsible.
Yeah, you just nailed it. You nailed it. Yeah.
When did you first learn about the whole scene going on in Philly?
I learned about the scene going on in Philly in Transworld's issue where Chris Markovich was kickflipping Carlsbad Gap.
Yeah.
It was all painted all crazy on the cover. And they had a Love Park article in it, and it was like in Philly, and I was super excited, and all these dudes were like the dudes in Philly. And so I'd look at it, I read the article a million times, I'd draw pictures out of it and stuff like that, and the train would drop you off right across the street from where I was. So the first time we went, we took the train and we just guessed and eventually found our way out and just looked across the street, it was right there. And it was the same year that I got that magazine, and there it was, and I was super duper excited. I think I was 10 years old. All the guys from the article were there. Stevie was there, Matt Reason was there, Ricky Oyola, Sergey Chernowski, like all of the dudes. I remember the first time I was there, I was like the annoying little kid that asked Matt Reason a lot of questions. And I sat there, and because he was sitting on the ledge, so I sat next to him and I just started asking him questions, and he was super duper cool. And it probably wasn't like a moment for him, but it was such a moment for me, and it impacted the way that, like, probably the way that I'm a professional now because of how cool he was when I was 11.
And those guys were hard to break through to, so, you know, little Stevie and all those guys,
Yeah.
Ricky, how did that whole thing go?
You know, I think it's just always being there and just kind of being around in the Philly scene and going to like Sub-Zero contests and starting to film in that area, shoot photos with the same photographer and film at the same spots. And then eventually you just kind of know each other.
So, you know, you're filming for Sponsor Me tapes and stuff like that, you get sponsored. How does the whole Zero Jamie Thomas thing happen?
I was sponsored by Circa with Jamie, and he was like a major force pulling for me to get on that team, him and Muska, which was awesome. So we were on a trip one time, and my current board sponsor like didn't have any plan of like when I should turn pro or anything like that, because they were just like, oh, well, like feeling out this dude. Jamie asked like, hey, what's the deal like with you turning pro? And I was like, oh yeah, like I don't know, they don't really know like when. He was like, dude, there's no plan, that's kind of crazy. But I was starting to kind of dress accordingly and finding my own style and what I wanted, and it just happened to be darker. So it fit Zero more, and he knew that in like 2 years it would be right there. So he was like, hey, like what do you think about doing this?
Wow, definitely one of the gnarliest dudes out there, and what surprised me about Chris Cole was how humble he is. Coolest dude out there. Now, let's shift gears a bit to talk about someone who is always lighting up the message boards. And it's not necessarily for his skateboarding, but usually for his run-ins with the law and his rap career. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you the circus that is Jereme Rogers.
Hello, I'm Jereme Rogers. I am a human being. I also skateboard professionally as a human being. I make music. I do business, create brands, and primarily I do everything I want until I die. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm a star. Spent a couple mil from skating. Damn, that is fucking crazy.
I had the American dream. I had everything I want. I had cars, I had homes, I had everything that a human strives for in the typical sense. I sat at the top of my class, you know, with other people. I had good classmates, but still not completely fulfilled, not completely happy, still a void.
He was one of our top competitors on the Duke Tour. Jereme was blazing and did some amazing stuff.
I was surprised that my choice had pissed people off so much. Because to me, I saw it as, hey, if they quit working at McDonald's today, I wouldn't give a f. you know? So I know some people saw it as, oh, you just threw away this stuff that like none of us have, you know what I mean? There's a few skateboarders or even humans who've had to deal with their actual following turning on them. SHECKLER had to, and he prevailed, which is awesome, you know? Kanye's had it before. One saying that I always say is I don't care the content of a conversation, but anytime that I'm a topic of one, I'm grateful. We watched some old videos of me before I retired when I was like driving an Aston Martin and had hella money and was perfectly in the cool kids club. And then we watched some new ones of me, like the ones that got the message boards talking and things like that, like the ones, whatever, just random videos, you know?
Dun 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 dun. J. Casanova. You smell me? You should smell me. It's $1 million cologne. And I bathe in it. Damn!
It was in such a dramatic change that going from this kind of frail little timid human to this like, I don't care what anyone thinks about me, bold lioness type person, I can see how I could have been perceived that I was on drugs because my personality did such a 360. It really, it seemed that drugs was the only way that that could happen.
So they wanna talk about me, what am I to do? You want it so much, you can try on my shoes. I'm on it so much, you got nothing else to do than to sit and talk about everything that I do.
From message boards to just even on my Twitter, people say all kinds of things. They're gonna kill me, they're this, that.
Since y'all been talking, mine got nice. Now I became a topic overboard with me. It's from the streets, blogs down to the girls that retweet me.
The Twitter fight with Costin was real. I'm like doing these jokes, like speaking in third person or something, doing these jokes, and then Costin started like coming at me like doing jokes like, oh, it's so whatever when he speaks in third person or this and that or whatever. It just started joking, but then we definitely kind of took stabs at each other. What was so funny and awesome to me, which he probably didn't realize, is that dude was my all-time favorite skater growing up. I had other people that I liked, but this is my favorite. Now, what used to be my favorite is approaching me on Twitter while I'm at my mom's house, you know what I mean? This guy's one of the world-renowned, most respected skateboarders on the earth, and whether he wants to say good or bad about me, I'm just grateful that he wants to say anything about me.
Don't be controlled by opinions of the critics when they tell you which bridge is to burn or which isn't worth crossing over. Like they Casanova, give them one shot and they burn them down for you.
I engage fans, I respond. There's been so many times when I've been home or somewhere and I'm reading some comments, some pure hate message, and it will make me laugh in a fashion that I would love if someone would see, because it would be hard to believe that's actually funny to you. Sometimes I may just say a witty comment back that like, oh, I've never heard of you, you know what I mean? So maybe you should do what you're telling me to do, because they'll be like, you need to skate, and they're skaters, you know, well, we've never heard your name around town, so maybe you need to skate, because you're the one hitting me up. It says gonna listen to Kanye West and Jeremy Rogers' music during my flight. Swag. That's a good one. Put me in there with Kanye. I'm in the Kanye rotation. Wow. You see this ad before it right here? The in-stream ad? You can skip it now, but the reason I have the ad before my stuff is because I get enough views where my channel's monetized, so, I mean, even when you guys hate my ass and click and comment, I get paid off that, so thank you. You guys are real sweet. So the first video I used, you know, it got like 50,000 views in like a day or two. So it was like instant, like free marketing, you know what I mean? Like, boom, look, I just branded myself as this guy in a day, you know what I mean? Whether it's good or bad, that at least making people feel something is valuable, you know? And my intention is to make them feel good. I don't want to make you guys feel bad. My intention is to make them feel good. But if all I can make them feel is bad, I'm just even grateful that I can make them feel it all. I'm skating better than ever. My style is better. I have more grace and comfort on the skateboard than I did before. when I go skate, I'm more confident and more in tune and present than I've ever been. So it's different for me, you know. But it's not important to me if I ever win another contest or something. You know, I've won enough contests in my past where it's not going to prove anything to myself or anyone else or change anything really. You know what I mean?
Sometimes when you want a good skateboard, you gotta do it yourself.
I like the idea of a brand name and that someone can hate me but still like Selfish. We're 100% Canadian maple. They could be like, this is a great quality skateboard, which it is, and ride everyone else's board but mine. They could hate me and still want a Selfish board because maybe they like the team or another guy or the boards. And if it was Roger's skateboards, then if they hated me, granted, you wouldn't want one at all. My vision for Selfish for the next 5 years, I definitely see it being one of the main brands. Basically, the position I've carved out for myself and the one that I'm going to continue to is one where I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't even play by industry rules by any means, you know what I mean? Like, my interest right now is not in riding for people. It's in creating brands and, if anything, people riding for me.
About to blow up. He'll be lucky if I show up. Make haters sick, throw up. He don't like what I do, grow up.
And the fact that my name still means anything to anyone, that it hasn't just been forgotten about, was always like a pointer, like saying, like, you still have a fate here if you're willing to carry it out. They may not realize it now, but as everything unfolds and my flower fully blossoms, my greatest feat of all is going to be the fact that in the face of like all that hate and people trying to pull me down, that I was able to pull myself up and stay on their brains and relevant to them without having any of the crutches that they have to hold them up. I had nothing to hold me up but my internal belief.
About to blow up, and you'll be lucky if I show up. Make haters sick, throw up. You don't like what I do, bitch, grow up. About to blow up, and you'll be lucky if I show up. Make haters sick, throw up. You don't like what I do, bitch, grow up. Grow up. Grow up.
See what I mean? Love them, hate them. I personally love them. Always entertaining. Speaking of being entertaining, there's no one in the sport who has entertained us more than the original jackass himself, Bam Margera. Earlier this year, Chris Naratko caught up with Bam at his compound in Westchester, Pennsylvania to get a tour of the estate and talk about everything from crashing his Lambo to falling off a waterfall. This dude leads such a life.
Hello, Internet. I'm Chris Naratko. I'm at Bam Margera's house. I'm going to talk to him about not chasing waterfalls, the high price of fame, and a bunch of other stuff. See if he actually skateboards anymore. Let's go catch up with him. Hip Hop Hug?
Hip Hop Hug.
You want to give us a nickel tour around here?
Yeah.
Before we melt?
Well, I'll start off with the indoor skate barn.
All right.
I got a bunch of art down there because I have an art show coming up.
All right, you're an artist now, right?
Well, I don't really claim that, but people want them.
So what's the story with this one?
Well, this one was, I was trying to paint the face and I wasn't happy with it. I kept trying and trying, so I just poured wax on it and wound up liking that better. Most of the stuff that I do is just, whatever I feel like it looks like, I'll just go with it. Other than that, it's usually Novak or like a hot girl. Sometimes I'll do like landscapes or whatever, but
Like Bob Ross?
Nothing's really serious.
This doesn't have some big existential meaning?
No. Some of them do though.
How long have you been painting?
About 2 years now. Here's Novak's grocery list. Milk, coffee, heroin, kiddie food, cigarettes, eggs.
So when did you start having shows?
I had my first one in Philly and I sold 6 before it even opened, and then I sold 14 total, so I made about 20 grand or something, and then after that I did another one in New York, and then I have another one in Atlantic City at House of Blues.
Have any art critics reviewed your work? What's some positive things they've said?
See, I only put up ones that I'm like really stoked on. Like most of these aren't even done, but yeah, I mean, I guess you'd say art's art. Whatever you do, it's art. That's why Novak is the shittiest painting I've ever seen. Art's art. You gotta appreciate it. I did it. Art is art.
What happened to your Lamborghini here?
I was flying down the street in Philadelphia looking for a friend's house, realized that I turned one street too early, so I slammed it in reverse. And this thing obviously has a lot of blind spots. So I nailed the back of this lady, and then I got out and I was like, well, you hit the back of my car, so as far as I'm concerned, you hit me. But you know that that's not true. I was like, tell that to the judge. Yeah, the insurance company came and they're the certified dentist and they said it's a $4,000 dent.
I confess, I'm the best.
Well, what were you thinking? What were you thinking chasing waterfalls with this Contour commercial?
Well, they screwed up on that one because they said, do you want to go off a 50-foot waterfall? They said something like 50 feet, but when I got there, it was 100 feet. And they were like, well, we meant like meters and, you know, whatever it was, they knew that I'd probably say no when you say 100 feet.
You go by meters because you're from South Africa.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You mean 30 meters? That's 90 feet.
30 meters.
And we're doing that now.
Yes!
I'm basically like, all right, there's no way I'm getting out of this one now, so I'm gonna have to do it. I'm like, the worst that could happen is, you know, I rupture this hernia worse than it already is.
Terrifying.
I can see you laughing, but I'm not joking.
It becomes terrifying.
I'm like, all right, just shove me off this thing. Felt like a snow shovel hit me in the face, like whap! And the water just totally made me go backwards and it ripped the whole skirt right off. Like, I was already out of the kayak once from the impact.
You didn't want to do it again a second time?
No. Maybe for 100 grand.
Did they rush you to the hospital because of your belly? I mean,
no, I didn't get rushed to the hospital, but I did go that night, and they just said that I'm gonna need an operation, but it's not like urgent.
What did the camera company say? Sorry.
What, Contour?
Yeah.
Well, they're stoked on the footage. They're like, yeah, you did it and you're alive.
That's all that matters. When's the last time you skated?
I skated Carrie's mini ramp about just before I went to Iceland, so probably a month ago. This thing's pretty scary. I did it switch once, and then I did it naked on a He-Man board, like an executioner board.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pros come here and won't even go down it. Well, now there's this to deal with. Yeah, I need to reply some of it.
Your whole flat bottom's toast over there.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about skateboarding these days. What's your take on what's happening out there?
I'm pretty much blown away on the shit that I see these days.
You think you were born too soon? Like right now, it seems like your era, because everybody's kind of all-terrain, which is kind of your deal. You're doing a lot of handrails, you're skating tranny, and now it's commonplace.
Well, it's like when I grew up to seeing Tommy Guerrero do a kickflip for the first time, and it's like, that dude just flipped his skateboard and then landed back on it. Oh my God, Salmanaga. He just did an ollie, but the opposite way. He doesn't even skate this way, and he ollied over a fire hydrant. Like, that's called a switch stance ollie. Now kids just, they grow up to knowing that a switch tray flip is something that you just need to learn, so.
Yeah, it's gotta be in your bag of tricks.
They'll learn in a fucking month.
What's your take on these big money contests? Street League, Maloof's X Games, stuff like that.
I'm into it. I mean, yeah, it might be commercial, but if it's paying skaters, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why if somebody's like, yo man, you did a right guard commercial, you sold out. Yeah, I did sell out, and I bought this house with it too. One day of work gives me $1 million, I'll spray my arms with right guard all day long. Like, anybody who says it's sold out, if you got that offer to do a right guard commercial and you turned it down for 1 day's work of $1 million, then you were stupid.
I know that when we opened our shop, it was like the height of BAM mania, and it was just rabid, and tons and tons of kids got into skateboarding because of you. And a lot of those kids are still with it, and they still come in the shop, you know, 10, 12 years later. How does that make you feel that you got so many kids into skating, personally?
Well, I just opened up Trans World's 20 most influential skaters, and I was nowhere to be found.
Do you worry that your body is just going to be rendered useless at some point, like in your 40s and your 50s?
Now I'm starting to think that. Like, when I was younger, it's like, well, what happens if you know, you get hurt skating? What are you going to do? Like, then my bones will heal and then I'll get back at it. But now that I'm 32 years old, it's not like that anymore. Sometimes I wake up and I feel like I'm straight up 80.
You're only 32?
I'll wake up like, oh.
You look 40.
Oh.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed your day at BAM's house. This is Inside AlliSports. Bye-bye, Internet.
Nice work, Narako. It's good to hear from BAM. It's been a little while. 2012 was also a year for some legendary skateboarders to share their artistic side. Legends like Chet Childress and Arto Sari have immersed themselves in their art and are finally releasing it to the public. We recently got to sit down with Arto to hear all about his photography and what inspires him to pick up his camera every day. Here's what he had to say.
All right. Too many tricks going on, too many people need two bodies. My name's Arto Sari. I'm a professional skateboarder for the last 12 odd years, I think. I'm originally from Finland, and I've been residing in California for 12 years. So I started shooting photos in 2001, I think. Went on that trip with Skin Phillips to shoot for Sari. Fred was there. So there's photographers, filmers around. And that's where I picked up the camera from Skin, the FM2, and started shooting photos. And it's just my excessive camera hobby just kind of developed from there. It just kind of fell into place, being surrounded by photographers, traveling a lot, skateboarding, wanting to document my friends skating. So it just kind of started shooting skating first and then traveling around little snapshots and stuff. Definitely, I've always been super into landscapes and like skate photos, obviously, like shooting skateboarding. But I like shooting landscapes too, because that's a whole different thing. You don't have to be dependent on other people. Just go out somewhere randomly camping and shoot visuals. You're just kind of, you're on God's time. You're on nature time instead of like depending on any other person. So you're kind of on your own. For me, photos are definitely where my interest is. Like, I guess it's been in the last 2 years, I would say. Last 2 years, I've been leaning more toward photography than pursuing filming or any of that. Just seeing something in print Like just having a printed photo and just that glimpse of moment in time. You can just look at a photo forever and just study it and just kind of figure out what goes on behind it, how you got into that situation. And I guess it just gives you more for your imagination, for that still image of like, you know, what happens there. You create the story around it. The process of learning photography and skating, it's a lot of the same. Most of the time I was on the ground. I still am, taking slams. Photography is the same way. It's trial and error that you learn through. I have to make a lot of mistakes first. And sometimes those mistakes end up being the best photos I get. Like sometimes you learn something new or find something new about things, just making mistakes. Like being out doing skate stuff is pretty rad because you always got to deal with different situations, so you keep your, you know, mind active and troubleshoot it how to make it look good, you know. That's how I learned photography, through kind of traveling around doing lifestyle stuff and trying to shoot skate action. Talked to Jeremy Fox, is like, I think I'm gonna build a pool. And he's like, call Lance, because he knew that it would just be all over. Like the process would get started straight away. He was over here the next day. He drew like 12 shapes, different things, and we looked at the backyard. He drew an outline of it, like this is how big you could go, and this is the shape you want for this space that you can get the most out of it. But Lance had a big influence of getting the process started and then just nailing it all the way through. A little paradise. We got a pool built by California Skate Parks, Lance Mountain. It's been here for about a couple of years, skateable now. It's also a swimmer, it works as a swimmer. Rarely gets water put in it. There's always homies stopping by and skating and stuff, so it's kind of better use of it empty than full. I didn't think much of it. I wasn't really skating pools. I could barely do a stand-up 50-50 or anything, like barely carve around, you know, I'm a street skater. So getting into this stuff was a whole new medium as well, which has been pretty rad, pretty fun process. So this whole place is kind of also works as like a little photo studio. Oh, it's getting there. It's getting there. Let's do one more. Sick. Cool little snap. Yeah. Just cool little feeble grind shot.
Is it the best way to practice is with your friend?
Yeah, well, that's definitely the easiest. I would say is the best too, because it's like these guys kind of know my habits now. They're like, oh, do you mind doing another one? I'm like, no, sure, let's do another one. So you get a couple of goes to do your composition and stuff. I'm just trying to learn more stuff, you know, more different lights and whatever. So they're just kind of like, haven't we shot that already? I'm like, yeah, It's like the light's different. It's like, all right, whatever. They're super hyped on it, which is great. I mean, you saw Curren today. It's like, frontside ollie, you want it higher, lower, more boned out. Like, how do you want it? It's like, and all those guys are just super. They're like, yeah, let's do it again. Let's keep doing it. Having those guys around and being able to shoot so much, and sometimes when I don't even plan on shooting, people call me, it's like, hey, can we skate? It's like, all right, come on, skate. Snap a couple of photos, go back into my thing, whatever, messing around with them and stuff. It's like, having people come here so I don't have to go, have to lug around all the flash gear and stuff. It's definitely helped me to learn about my equipment and stuff a lot quicker. So this is the man cave of madness over here. Skateboards, blowers, lights, mini fridge, bunch of random crap, table saw, woodworking tools. Let's see if this is plugged in, probably not. Oh yeah, we got that. So yeah, just a bunch of random crap, skateboards, stickers, photography. This is got a weird box of goodies over here. This is a lot of undeveloped film shot by Bastian Salabanzi. I just haven't had the cash to develop it, and it's kind of getting to that point where this thing needs to be developed soon before it starts getting old, I think. What do you do with this, you know? You can't, I can barely develop my own photos with the money. It's so expensive these days. Until then, we'll just keep it here, stashed away, same temperature, same vibe, keep it cool. All right, people trip out on this a little bit around these parts. To me, this is just second nature. I grew up with this stuff. This is a Finnish sauna. We got the Fiskars axe that fuels it. You know, you chop wood with it, throw it in there and get it going. But this is electric for your fast-paced LA Hollywood lifestyle. You just turn the knob and it's on. You don't need the axe for this one. It's electric. Got a couple of sauna hats here too. When it gets really blasting in there, it starts burning your scalp off, so you can put one of these on. So you can keep going further. So you just kind of take the heat on your body, on your back, instead of burning your scalp and your ears off. And these guys are called vihtas. Vihta. Suomalainen koivuvihta. I don't know what that is in English. It's basically a bunch of birch leaves, dried up, the travel version of it. Put in the hot water for 30 minutes, take it out, it puffs up, and you just dip it in the water and you beat yourself up with it in the sauna, get your blood flowing, and kind of gives you a nice aroma in the sauna too. So that's kind of the sauna kit. If you want to take a peek inside here, you can come in here, throw some water on the rocks. It's not on right now. We got a ladle full of water. Throw on the rocks, sweat your ass off. It gets to about 122. Between 120 and 100 is like a good sauna temperature. That's kind of what I like. Sometimes after skating, you go in there and just all crusted. You can do light stretching and stuff, and it just kind of warms your body up and your sore muscles and stuff. It gets all your toxins out too. If you've been eating or whatever, it helps you out with that digestion and everything, and just kind of relaxes you.
Shooting with Ardo is good because, I mean, he tells you exactly like the spot to be in, and he's got a different view than other photographers do because he's a skater. So one day I want to have a lot of cameras and stuff and take some rad photos like he does.
I would be very lucky, and that's kind of what I hope for, that at some point that it would become a job once my wheels fall off and can skate, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. But hopefully photography will be something that I can make a living out of. Hopefully that'll be the thing to move into. That's kind of what I feel like doing right now. And hopefully it works out, maybe it won't, I don't know. That one's rad. It's an endless world of photography and different ways to do natural light, flashes, whatever, like all different cameras for different scenarios. I don't think I'll get bored of it anytime soon. It's a pretty interesting journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Arto Sari, a man of many talents. Well, that about wraps it up for me, Chris Pastras. 2012 has been an epic year. Thanks for letting us join you on this journey, and I'll see you guys in 2013. Peace!